Hello, everyone. My name's Damien. I'm a licensed real estate instructor, broker, and marketer here. If you can hear my voice clearly, please type yes in the chat box located there in the right corner of your screen, the top right corner of your screen. Okay, great. Look like everybody's doing fine. So once again, if you can hear my voice, just please type yes in the top right corner of your screen there. The chat box will be located there. Okay, great. Give me just one moment. We're going to go ahead and get started here. All right, so feel free to post any questions or comments during the webinar right there in the chat. I will get to most of your questions at the very end, however, so just please know that, but please do not hesitate to go ahead and post them when you have them, and we'll make sure that we get everything answered before we leave here today. We're going to jump right into it here. I don't want to hold you too long. The 4 C's of a realtor lead generation system that works. I would say go ahead and get a pad, a pen and paper, or pencil out to take some notes as we go through. There'll definitely be some information that you'll definitely want to jot down and keep with you. The 4 C's of a realtor lead generation system that works. Let's jump right into it. I'm going to do this kind of interactive here. Now, here's what you're going to learn today. I promise that in the next hour or so that you'll learn the formula for successful lead generation, that if you apply it, it'll definitely explode your business. You know, and that's whether you're a new agent or maybe you've been in the business a while, but perhaps you're struggling to get new clients. If you follow this formula, you definitely can see your real estate business change for the better, you know, in 6 months or less. So we're not talking about just something that happens in 1 week or 2 weeks, but, you know, if you put the formula into work, you follow the system, you can definitely see the results that you would desire. If you're committed to doing what it takes to be successful, this webinar is for you. If you know there are no magic bullets to success, like I said before, you got to have a well thought out plan, and that you have to execute that plan with consistency. Also, real estate's a business, not a job. So if you're going to be successful, you have to treat it that way, and also know that you're going to be the primary person responsible for your success, not your broker, not anyone else. You'll get assistance, perhaps, hopefully, from others. But at the end of the day, it's going to be because of you. So if you believe that and you know that, you're definitely in the right place here today. A few stats for you here. They're kind of shocking, to be honest with you. If you haven't heard this already, most of you probably have. You know, we've been around since 2003, and the stats haven't changed much. And that is 90% of all agents within the first 5 years will be out of this business. And quite frankly, the large majority of the agents who get into the business, they'll be out within 2 years or less. Okay. There is a high turnover in this business. Don't let nobody kid you. And the primary reason is there was not enough focus on lead generation, never learned how to do it, never had a system in place to do it, et cetera, et cetera. Now, there could be other little reasons, you know, but at the end of the day, the main reason is I did not have enough leads. So I'm now out of this business. Nobody leaves this business because they didn't have business cards that were pretty enough. Nobody leaves the business because they never figured out how to complete the contracts. Nobody leaves the business because their listing presentation wasn't pretty enough. They leave the business because they never had anybody to talk to even present their listing presentation to. That is just a fact. So you must, one of your primary things as an agent is to make sure you generate leads and learn how to do that. All right. Now, I talk about this 90-10, okay? This 90% who fail and this 10% who make it, okay? 90% doesn't have to be you, okay? You don't have to fall in that bucket. So I'm not saying that to you to say that you're destined to be in that bucket. But if you want to be in that 10%, you're going to have to put some effort forth. And there's just no way around that. And I'm going to, show you here today and explain to you today what that looks like and what that takes. Now, in the spirit of total transparency, before we move forward, if I promise to give you great content and instruction, do I have your permission to take about 5 minutes of your time at the very end here for you to consider an offer? Okay. If that sounds fair to you, type yes in the chat. All right. So about 5 minutes of your time at the end for you to consider an offer that I have for you. If that sounds fair to you, type yes in the chat. Now, if that doesn't sound fair to you, and here's your opportunity to take a left right out of this webinar. Again, I like being upfront with people. So when we get to that part in the webinar, you're not shocked or, oh, what is this? I'm just letting you know up front. I definitely have an offer for you at the end. Take about 5 minutes of your time. Okay. Looks like everybody's okay with that. Let's go ahead and move forward. The 4 C's of Realtor lead generation. Before we jump into it, let me explain to you how this is going to work. The first part of this webinar is going to be more, I'm just going to lay the groundwork for you. We're going to talk about a lot of the principles and what you should be doing and not be doing, etc., about the system and so forth. But then at the second half of the webinar, we're going to get into more show and tell, and you're going to see everything in action. So I'm going to show you a live demo, essentially, of what we talked about working. Okay. Now, before we get into that, have you ever owned a business? If you've owned a business before, type biz, B-I-Z in the chat. If you've ever owned a business of any sort, type biz, B-I-Z in the chat. Okay. All right. Got one person so far. Okay. Got a couple people. All right. And I already know, we do this so much. I know most of you have never owned a business or started a business, etc. But here's the deal. For those of you who have owned the business before, or perhaps you still own it currently, congratulations. Here's another business now that you're now running, your real estate business. And for those of you who never have run a business or own a business, congratulations to you too. This is your first business that you've started. Okay. I say that, and I say it with all sincerity and seriousness. You have to understand that real estate is a business. It is not a job. Now, I'm sure many of you on the line have had jobs before, may have a job now, and where you get a check every week or every 2 weeks or every month, whatever the case may be. That's all well and good. This is not that. Okay. You got that real estate license, and now you're in the real estate business. And business has its things that jobs do not. And we'll get into that a little bit further, but you have to treat this as a business. One, you need a budget. Two, because you have expenses, you have incomes, hopefully from your sales, of course, and you have other things to consider because you're running a business. Now, this is not a business webinar, a business class today, but I just want you to know you cannot go at this as if it's a job. You will not be in this business long if you do that. All right. Now, also, once you realize that you've encountered on starting a business, you need to become a local market expert. Okay. These are things that you just need to understand and embrace before we even get into lead generation, so to speak. You need to become the local market expert. Okay. Because this is important to lead generation. What I mean by that is, one, you need to get a farm area. You need to determine your farm area. What area you're going to focus on, what subdivisions within that area you're going to focus on. Perhaps there's a certain price range of homes you're going to focus on. You name it. Perhaps there's a particular style of home, single family. You might focus on those. You might focus on condos. My point is, you have to define your farm area and your expertise. All right. And become an expert in that area. Okay. You cannot be everything to everybody. So do not try to do that. That's one of the quickest ways to get out of this business, trying to be everything to everybody. The way you succeed in this business is find your area that you're going to focus on, find your niche, and go all in on that and become well versed and well knowledgeable in that area. Okay. Now, so you have to commit to doing that because this is all important for lead generation. Also understand this, because I know some of you on the line are fairly new. All right. And for those of you who are not brand new, this probably still is something you need to hear as well. Again, if you never heard it before. Um, your sphere of influence when you're getting into real estate, they always talk about your sphere of influence, your family and your friends and all that. And that's well and good. Understand this: your family and your friends will not sustain your real estate business, period. Okay. They will not. Um, some agents are shocked when they find that some of their family members and their friends, when it comes time to buy or sell a home, overlook them, choose another agent, believe it or not. And they're just shocked at how in the world that a family member or friend wouldn't choose them as their realtor. Well, it happens more than you might think. Okay, I'll leave it at that. My point being is, absolutely, when you think about lead generation, you definitely want to reach out to family and friends. Of course you do. My point is, don't think that's going to be all you need and you're going to get all the business coming from that and everything's just going to be hunky-dory and there you go, you're making all the money you want in real estate. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. You need to have a lead generation system in place that extends beyond your sphere of influence. All right. Also, you must set aside money for lead generation efforts. You must set aside time and money for lead generation efforts. All right. So I know you've gone to school, you've gotten the license, you've spent the money on the courses, you spent the money to take the exam, you passed the exam. Now they're talking about board fees, MLS fees, and you're out hundreds, thousands of dollars already at this point. I understand that too. Now you need to have some budget set aside for your lead generation effort, because if you don't, you're dead in the water. Okay. This is not one of those situations like you see on the TV sometimes with the, you can buy other people's homes and no money down and you don't need your own money and all that. Well, that's a bunch of crap. All right. You're in a business and you wouldn't dare start a business with it, not any income or any, a budget, right? You wouldn't dare do that. That's why I said it's key to understand you're running a business. Now, who would start a business and say, well, I don't have any funds at all, I'm going to start a business? You wouldn't do that. Now, I know this much. There's some of you on the line who this may come as a shock to. You're like, wow, I know I was getting into real estate, but honestly, I never thought about it as a business in that sense. Well, here you go. It is. All right. So you're going to have to do that. So at this point, if you don't have any idea of a budget to set aside for this, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And I tell you this straight, guys, I'm not trying to disencourage you. I'm trying to just give you the truth that you don't always get just without any sugarcoating in a lot of places. Now, if you don't have a budget set aside, well, listen, who am I to say that it's not possible at some level, but it's going to be real tough trying to work your way up without any budget. I mean, I'm just being honest with you there. Okay. So let's jump right into it here. Now, you must put a system in place as well. All right. You want to generate leads and ultimately generate business. You must put a system in place. What I mean is you can't shoot from the hip with this thing. Okay. You can't just, willy nilly, think you're going to sit in your broker's office getting some floor time and leads are just going to walk through the door and, somebody's going to throw you one here, throw you one there. Not going to happen. Quite frankly, a lot of times if they're throwing you one, it's one they didn't want for some good reason, so it's not going to happen. You need to put a system in place so that things work automatically. Okay. Things work automatically behind the scenes. One thing happens, another thing happens, this happens, that happens, and all synchronized and integrated together. So you got to have a system to generate. And then once you generate, to manage the lead so you can get that lead to being a client ultimately at the end. All right. Now, like I mentioned before, you're going to determine your own success. So, don't think your broker is going to be the one to do it for you. Quite frankly, some of you probably have brokers already. Some of you are in the process of choosing a broker. That's fine. Here's what you got to understand about that as well. You need to be choosing your broker based on your own objectives. Okay. Again, this is not a job situation. Some people forget this. They're thinking, oh boy, I got to find a broker to work for. That's not going to be your problem. I mean, you're going to have brokers. You can work anywhere you want pretty much. I mean, brokers are going to be coming after you. It's not like they're hiring you to pay your salary. Okay. So it's not as much as they're interviewing you as you're interviewing them. This is a mutual thing here. So understand that as well. When you go talk to a broker, it's not a situation where, oh, I hope they give me a job. No, that's not this situation. This is, do I want to work for this broker? Let me ask the right questions to see if I want to work here, because I have my own business to run as a realtor. And I want to make sure that my broker is the right broker for me based on the goals that I have for me. See, it's a different mindset. You're running your business, and essentially you're going to partner, if you will, with another business. I hope you get that. Does that make sense, everybody? That essentially you run your own business, but by law, of course, you got to work under a broker, but you need to look at it as, I'm going now to build a relationship with another business who I have to work under, but never forget, I'm running my own show, so to speak, as well. All right. So now we're to the 4 C's of realtor lead generation. If any of that those things I just mentioned to you beforehand, I can't force you to substitute what I believe and what we believe here and know for what you believe. But I'm telling you what I just went over. You should embrace that if you're really going to try to make it in this business. The 4 C's of realtor lead generation. The first C, create valuable content. The reason I said that you need to become a local market expert, okay, in your farm area, right, is because you need to be able to create valuable content. You need to be able to create information that you can give to people that's going to help them in the buying and selling process, or just information that they want to know about. For example, they want to know about home sales. They want to know about listings in the area. They want to know about what's there to do in the area, entertainment wise. They want to know about the schools in the area. Are there A schools, B schools, etc. Now, they want to know about things like the crime in the area. Okay. And they want to know a whole host of other things. First time home buyers want to know about, what's the home buying process like? They want to know, should I go to my bank to get a loan, a mortgage, or should I go to a mortgage broker? Which is better? What are the advantages and disadvantages of both? Okay. What I'm getting at is, you need to be committed to immersing yourself as a local market expert so that you can answer the questions that your prospects have, whether buyer or seller prospects have, and you can continuously provide them with something of value that helps them become more knowledgeable themselves. Okay. And they look at you as that source of powerful, credible information. All right. Your valuable content serves as your magnet. Okay. Your bait. It's the valuable content. It's these articles that you write. It's this information that you share. It's about sharing this information and knowledge about your local marketplace, your farm area. It's this knowledge that attracts people. You're going to use it to promote. Okay. You're going to promote this information. Now, what happens is you use this valuable information to promote it, and then it attracts people to your website. Okay. So you promote this information on Facebook. You promote this information in a blog. Okay. You promote this information through email. Okay. They come to your website and they want to consume that information. And when they get to your website, what you want to do is that second C. You want to capture and store their information. Okay. Meaning their name and email. You want to capture their name and email in exchange for receiving that valuable content. That's the strategy. Okay, that's the strategy. So, for example, let me give you a piece of valuable content. A buyer's guide that goes through all the steps in the buying process, the main steps in the buying process. So you entice a person who's looking to buy with that, hey, get my free buyer's guide. And all you got to do is give me your name and email. That's it. That's step 1 and 2, right? Now, once you have the name and email, you go to step 3, which is cultivate the relationship. See, people are not going to be ready to do business with you at the same time you're ready. All right. You have to nurture and cultivate the relationship, which means now that you have their name and email, send them out additional emails at periodic times with other valuable information that you think may be helpful to them. So what you're trying to do, again, is become that person that they trust, they see as credible, and they see as very helpful. The whole strategy is about being of service to your prospects first, and then getting something in return afterwards. It's not about chasing commissions. So you can't go as if you're going to be chasing commissions, trying to just do business with me. Just do business with me. No, You have to show yourself to be a one who's going to be of service to people. And then they see you helping them. Who else would they want to at least entertain helping them? Right? It's not to say every single deal you'll get, but boy, this person's been helping me all along the way for months, just providing me with additional knowledge, expertise, and they seem to really know their stuff. They seem to be well versed in the area that they deal in, and you become the local expert. All right, that's the idea. Now, once you do that and you're sending out these emails, all right, you're sending out these emails and they're continuously getting value from you. They're reading your emails, they're clicking on links in your email. They're going to eventually reach out to you and then escalate that email relationship to a phone relationship. And that's when you close the deal. When you finally make contact on the phone with the prospect, you got to understand they already see you in a good light because you've been so helpful all along the way. See, this could be a month or two down the road. This could be 6 months down the road that you've been building this relationship. But when it finally culminates with a phone call, they already think highly of you. At this point, the only thing you need to do is not mess it up and just set the appointment to speak with them face to face and then present your services to them. Okay. That's the top level strategy right there. That's the 4 C's. You need to be an expert so that you can do C number 1, create something of value. Always be thinking about how can I help my prospects better understand this process of real estate buying and selling. What can I provide them, whether it be a home valuation report, a buyer's guide or seller's guide, you name it. What can I provide them? All right. Capture their information. All right. Then cultivate relationship, continuously provide more information to them, more valuable information to them, and then finally close the deal. So what is valuable content? I kind of hit on it already. Now, let me talk here for just a moment on the agent bio. One of the most valuable pieces of content that you can create is your agent bio. And a lot of realtors just really gloss over this and give it no attention at all. Your agent bio needs to be well thought out. It needs to share and come from a personal nature. Now, I'm not saying all your personal business per se, but they need to know a little bit about who you are. What are your hobbies? What are your interests? What are your skill sets? What do you bring to the table, whether it's negotiating skills or a great customer service or a diligence or, what do you bring to the table? Who are you? So a lot of times agents get into those who've been in the business. I'm $1 million producer and all that. And, that's all well and good, but you don't have to have all that $1 million producer stuff. A lot of you on the line right now are new agents, and you're probably thinking to yourself, whoa, my agent bio is going to be real short. It's going to be nothing because I haven't done anything yet in real estate. You couldn't be furthest from the truth. You have plenty to talk about. What you need to do is pull on your previous experience from another professional career. Most of you on the line here today, you didn't start out in real estate, I'm sure. You all come from different industries, different professions, etc. So some of you may have been in sales in another industry. Some of you have been in customer service. Some of you have probably been in management, HR, you name it. You have lots to offer, lots of skills that you've acquired from your previous profession or industry that translates to real estate. You just need to think about that and share that in your bio and show how that relates to real estate and you being a great realtor and can get the job done. Okay. So with the agent bio, you don't want to just gloss that over with a couple of sentences, and what you find most agents don't really have an agent bio on their website at all, to be honest with you. But when you have that little about me section on the website, what you normally find is basically this. Hi, my name is Jane Doe. I have a real estate license. Call me, Hi, that's it. Hi, my name is John Doe. I have a real estate license. Call me. They just gloss that over as if it's unimportant when it's very important. So you want to take the time to write your agent bio of yourself so that you can connect with people. Let me give you one example here. Let's assume you are a veteran and you served in the Army, let's just say. And you shared that in your bio that, you served X years in the Army and you were honorably discharged, et cetera, et cetera. What if another veteran came across your agent bio and they read and saw that? That is an instant connection, just instant connection that has nothing to do with how many homes you sold. Are you $1 million, $10 zillion producer? It has nothing to do with that. But I want you to know that type of connection can get you chosen as an agent for that person over somebody else who may have even more experience, more sales. But this person says to themselves, well, you know what, though? I'm going to be able to really talk and have a good relationship perhaps with this person because we share a common interest. We share some common ground here. So that's what I'm trying to get you to see. You need to, be yourself in your agent bio so that you can connect with those people who may have similar interests as you and could be a reason you could really begin to build that relationship that somebody else couldn't build. All right. Buyer and seller guides are great, valuable content. Like I mentioned before, those are always good things to provide as valuable content because people always want to know, what they should be doing, how things work. Local market reports, right? Like I said, is it a buyer or seller's market? Okay, you need to know that, and your prospects want to know that, right? Because it affects, the price of the home and what people buy homes for. What are inventory levels? Okay. New listings on the market. Okay. Just sold. Like I said, also, what's going on in the community? Is there new industry moving into the community? Right? Is there new company moving into the industry? Just all of this stuff, you need to have your nose to the ground because you are, right, the local market expert. Right? Home valuation reports. Everybody wants to know what their home is worth, whether they're ready to sell or not. Everybody wants to know, at any given time, well, I wonder what my house is worth right now. Okay. So to give a CMA, a comparative market analysis, okay, very valuable, very valuable. It's not an appraisal, of course, but it's a good estimate of value, right? People love to know this information, but you have to be committed to providing it to them. That's valuable content. Now, that's not an exhaustive list by no stretch. There's a zillion other things that you could do that will be valuable to your prospects. Here's how you come up with that. Basically, just think to yourself, what questions do my prospects have? And can I provide an answer to the question? And then you can write on that and provide the answer to that information. Okay. Anything that can help. It's all about being helpful. So now you have something that's going to be your bait. It's going to be your lead magnet that's going to attract people. You want to capture and store their information. So now you're not just going to give this valuable information away. You're going to ask for their name and email in exchange for it. So they'll get to your website. And when they get to the website, you'll have lead capture forms. These forms will ask for the name and email of the person. When they submit their name and email, that information is going to go directly into the customer relationship manager, the CRM. That's your database whereby you store all your prospect and client information. And you can easily retrieve that information. You can search it, filter it, etc. All right. So they come to the website. When they get to the website, they're hit with, hey, get my buyer's guide. But in order to get it, I need you to enter your name and email into my lead capture forms. And then that information that goes into the lead capture form is automatically routed into your customer relationship manager. So now you have their name and email in your CRM, your database where you store all prospect and client information. All right. That's how that works. Now that you have that information in your CRM, it's time to go to steps. Letter C here. I should say the third C is to email them again, like I said before, with valuable information through drip email marketing. Who has ever heard of drip email marketing? Type drip. If you heard of drip email marketing, type drip in the chat. All right. Got a couple people there have heard of it. All right. Drip email marketing is where you send out emails on a periodic basis that have been pre-written. So drip email marketing requires that you pre-write emails up front. And then you schedule each email to go out at a certain time to your prospects. So for example, when someone signs up on your website initially, to get the buyer's guide, let's say, and they initially give you their name and email. All right. The email goes out that sends them the buyer's guide that they requested. But perhaps 3 days later, you want them to receive something else. So you send out another email that was part of the drip email system, already pre-written. And then a week after that, you want another email to go out. And then a week after that, and then a month after that, so forth and so on. But the point is, you're not writing these emails individually at that time. You've already set this up ahead of time. And now the emails are going out behind the scenes automatically without you doing anything. Okay. Now let's get into email blasts. They're different from drip emails because email blasts are emails you send out at one time to a large group of people. So they're useful when you have news, like new news you want to let people hear about. So for example, let's say mortgage interest rates are dropping and you want to let your prospects in your database know about that. That would be a good time to go into your email blast area, draft up an email, and then send that out, that notification out to everybody in your CRM. All right. Now, perhaps you might want to send it only to your buyer prospects. Perhaps you want to send it only to your seller prospects. Perhaps you want to send it to your clients, etc. Or you can send it to everybody. The point is, you haven't preset this email to go out already, as in drip email marketing. It's something that you're just going to do right now because you have something that's newsworthy that you want to get out to your database, to your CRM. And then social media. You want to definitely include social media as you begin to cultivate the relationship as well. If you had to choose one social media platform, which social media platform do you guys think will be the one to choose? Go ahead and type it in to the chat. If you had to choose one social media platform, which one do you think will be best to choose? Yep. We got 100% on the one that I knew you would say. Yeah, Facebook, right? Yeah, absolutely. It's not to say that the other platforms are not, valuable in some sense. Okay, but what we recommend is that you focus on one. Just focus on one platform because you can't be social on all the platforms. You don't have the time to do that. Be social on one, and that is Facebook. Now, what you want, most of you have a Facebook personal profile. I know that, I'm sure. You want a Facebook business page so that you can separate your real estate business from your personal Facebook profile. Now, you have to have a personal profile before you can get a Facebook business page anyway, but you definitely want to do that for your marketing and cultivating relationship purposes. Okay. Now, close the deal. Once you've gone through that process of creating valuable content, they've come to the website, they're willing to give you their name and email in exchange for that content. All right. And I'm going to make this note. You don't want to ask for anything other than the name and email. Don't go asking for address, city, state, zip, and all of that information. That's too much too fast. All right. You're trying to build a relationship. So you want to make it as easy as possible for them to just get started with you. If you ask for too much up front, they just will not complete the form at all. Okay. Because it's just too much too soon. Again, you got to build a relationship. But when you get to the fourth C, close the deal. Like I said before, you make that initial phone contact, you set that appointment to meet with them face-to-face by phone, and then present your service face-to-face to them. They already have a good feel about you, okay? Even though you never talked to them before prior to this, because you helped them all along the way with valuable information through email, they kind of feel like they know you a little bit because you've been so helpful. And at this time, you just need to take it to the next level at this point and present your service in the best possible light. All right. Now, give me a moment here. It's time to take a test drive. I'm going to now kind of pull all that information I just shared with you. I'm going to try to pull it together in a practical sense so you can actually see it in action. Okay. How that plays out. Give me a second while I share my screen with you. I'll be right back. Just a